Online sports betting is a multi-billion-dollar industry in PA, and it just continues to grow.
As Fox 43's Marshall Keeley finds, concerning trends in calls for gambling help have some experts asking for change.
They're impossible to escape.
You can't turn on the television without seeing it.
Sports betting advertisements are everywhere, appearing online, on TV, on the radio, or on the road.
I don't know that anybody was really truly ready.
Josh Ercole from the Council on Compulsive Gambling of Pennsylvania says it wasn't always like this.
Somebody working at an Erie casino, the Erie property they weren't concerned with somebody who lives in Philadelphia walking into a Philadelphia casino. Once the online options open up, Now that's very different.
With a new form of gambling came a new base of potential customers spread across the state who may prefer to pick up their phone instead of driving to a casino.
The highest propensity would be in that younger demographic. So I'm sure that that's part of marketing strategies.
A growing number of young adults are betting online, attracted to the action available at their fingertips. Counselor Loretta Vasso says she's seen a change in mentality.
The rite of passage now for 21-year-olds is not so much I'm going to go to a bar and I'm going to have my first drink. It's I'm going to go online and I'm going to make my first bet.
Kevin Kyle oversees sports wagering statewide for the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board.
I think that, the younger demographic just likes the excitement of the games themselves, as opposed to sitting at a slot machine and playing in that manner. I think gradually we're going to see a reduction in the number of advertisements on the media in a similar manner as we saw with fantasy sports about 10, 15 years ago.
For now, the ads are here to stay, and they could be affecting the way young adults and teenagers view betting.
When you have folks who aren't necessarily recognizing it, whether it be because they're not old enough to recognize it, they're not, aware that this is an activity with risk, that's where it's really concerning.
Here's internationally certified gambling counselor Jody Bechtold.
And the brain isn't even fully developed until the age of 25. And the last part of the brain to develop is the prefrontal cortex, which is judgment and impulsivity and decision-making. You think about a 16, 17-year-old right there, there's a vulnerability in really being able to slow down.
Many young men are drawn in by big introductory offers, promising risk-free bets. But the experts we spoke to say there's no such thing.
The limited research that is out now is showing that even 18 to 24 tends to be male sports betting, and is identifying that of that group, right, more individuals are becoming gambling addicted or having a lot more consequences related to that.
The fast-paced highs of sports betting can leave young adults wanting more. Over time, it can get harder for them to feel pleasure, meaning only big risks bring a thrill.
Once your brain starts to respond in that way where you get a big dopamine dump, even at the anticipation phase of gambling, your brain will always respond that way.
Experts say some don't stop betting until they're completely out of money or out of places to go for more, adding to the anxiety and depression many experience.
Research has definitely shown that when people experience severe financial debt due to gambling, they're at greater risk for considering suicide.
Calls to the gambling helpline have more than doubled in the last 2 years. There's been a sharp drop in the average age of callers.
Now what we're seeing is the highest propensity of calls by a lot are coming in from the 18 to 34 range.
In December of 2022, 28% of calls came from people between 25 and 34 years old, the largest total of any age group. 18% came from ages 35 to 44. Ercole says many more are reaching out for help through text and chat options. We asked the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board about its review process for sports betting advertisements. Kyle says the agency has an audit team that reviews each ad and could find companies who don't meet regulations, such as failing to mention the gambling helpline. Because there are so many ads, he says, the audit team doesn't review material before it's seen by the public.
We have specific requirements that have to be included in the terms and conditions of promotions. And our goal is to make sure that all promotions are not false, misleading, or deceptive.
Adding call 1-800-GAMBLER at the end is good, but they put it all in a positive way. But that's advertising.
Ercole is encouraging more companies to change the language in their ads to better reflect reality. You can win big or lose big.
This is an activity Yes, most people are not going to develop a problem, but some will.
In our conversations with these experts, we came across a potential hole in a state program intended to help compulsive gamblers that could actually trigger more hurt. We'll tell you more about that next week. If you or a loved one are struggling with unhealthy gambling, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Marshall Keeley, Fox 43 News.